Hello.
Hello.
Today we have with us Brigitte Sztab, and this is for the 2015 North American Systemic Constellations Conference coming up in November. And thank you very much for agreeing to speak with us today, Brigitte. Brigitte's talk is Passion to Profession, Building the Morphic Field of a Successful Constellation Business, and it'll be on Saturday morning, November 14th. So I'm so excited to talk to you because we all want to build our businesses. However, I do have a couple of questions, Brigitte. One of them is, how do you describe constellations to a stranger?
So first of all, it depends on who the stranger is. And in all my talks to the public, I am very tuned in with who the person is that I'm speaking to and trying to speak in the terms that they can understand. That's really important because we can talk right over their heads with the language, our lingo, and not catch them. And so, of course, often I don't know who the person is that isn't sitting in front of me. So I am connecting with them energetically to gauge of like how, what can their heart receive, what language, what wisdom, what words will fall onto a fertile ground with them. Very often I start by talking about community, and I'm starting to talk about the connection that we all need, that are essential to human life. How a baby without connection will actually wither and die. It can have food and clothes and everything, but without the human connection, without care and touch and love, it will not thrive. I will talk about how families are so connected that they will feel everything from everyone else, and the children most of all, because they don't have a mind that's in the way. And how these inner connections that we feel, how the emotions that we feel of others are then going underground when we're teenagers and becoming often obvious in physical ailments and in mental, emotional illness, and difficulties relating, and behaviors that are destructive to the self or others. And I'm trying to find ways to describe that relate to the person that I'm speaking with, their experiences, or experiences in the world around them. And we all see how much more our world gets disconnected as we're connecting on more superficial levels. So that's really, I stay with the connection piece because that's at the heart for everyone. Everyone wants to be more connected, and everyone feels at some place in their heart how difficult that can be, and how when you do connect, that you're taking in all of the painful stuff as well. And then I talk, about constellation as a method to bring to light the connections in a visual, spatial way, so it becomes very real and observable, and how our hearts track everything that goes on in a constellation as truth, if it is a truthful constellation, because we've been there, and these energy fields that we're setting up are actually the reality, that without having the words and having the intellect to support it in an aware way. And so, I could go on and on about that because, it takes me usually about 15, 20 minutes to describe it. But it's really important to get in connection with the person that you're speaking to, so you're not missing the boat with what they can understand and what's important to them to hear.
Thank you. That's a fabulous explanation. I am so looking forward to hearing you speak.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I always speak without notes whenever I start a workshop and I speak to a whole group. What comes out of my mouth is different because I go in connection with the circle that's there and the people and what they are able to absorb and what they need to hear. And so it's never the same, just like it was not the same right now when I talk to you. But of course, you already know what constellation work is.
Great, super, excellent. Okay, and another question that the other delegates have asked me to ask you is, how do you use constellations for self-care?
I can say honestly that my whole life is about constellations. This is my spiritual practice. This is what has taught me about life, about relationship, about my heart, about happiness, and joy and compassion. So I can't really differentiate and saying, you know, this is where I use it. It's so much part of who I am after the 18 years that I've been involved with it. I can say that the more I'm in the field of constellations, the more fulfilled and grounded and happy I am. It's my meditation practice, really, because when I'm in the field, I'm not thinking, I'm completely connected in, I'm plugged in, I'm in the zone, and time recedes, it's just not there anymore, and I'm just being. There's no doing involved. So the more I work, the more I feel I'm taking care of myself, because this is where I want to live, and being in this state a lot, in the state of the, you know, the facilitator, and being in the field of constellations, life is no different. You know, we can really have this kind of stance of acknowledging what is, waiting patiently for the next step to appear, then taking it courageously, not knowing what is the step after that, and being again, you know, open for what happens next. I mean, it's a way of living in the moment that I did not know how to do before. I was in my mind all the time trying to figure things out, trying to figure out the next step and the future, trying to guard against mishaps, and I don't live like that anymore. I live like I'm in a constellation. It's the constellation of my life. And the trust that I bring into the circle of knowing that things will show up when they're needed, if I don't have an agenda, if I don't have expectations, if I'm not impatient, and then I can recognize what is the next step, what has to happen now, what needs to be said and done. That's how I live my life. So that's my self-care, really, to just stay in this flow as much as I can.
Yes. Oh, thank you. That was a beautiful explanation. I also feel the trust and the joy of just being ready to take what is. It's so exciting and so restless. Amazing. I have a hard time explaining to people, but thank you. You've really helped there. Everybody's going to love this video. Wow. Okay, so now tell us about Passion to Profession, your talk.
Well, I hear it at every conference. I hear it from my own students. I hear it from my colleagues' students. How when we are done with our training and we are so ready to give what we're passionate about to the public, and then we encounter the harsh reality of, well, first of all, how do I speak to people so to entice them to come? And how do I get enough people so that we can do the work effectively? And I've thought a lot about it, and I talked with colleagues and other people and my students about this, and looking over my own path with this work. I have seen the patterns of my own development in the work and what came at what point, how success came with this work, and what were the necessary steps, what were those turning points in my career. Career kind of sounds weird in the context of constellations, but yeah, this path that we are walking is a very personal path, and I think people have to treat it like that. It's not a profession that you learn, you hang a shingle out and then people recognize what that is and what you're offering and they're saying, I need that, I'm going, right? It's much more it's still pioneer work. We're still a part of a morphic field around this work that is building, and all of us helping to build it. We are not alone in this, but we all have to do our part. So for me, the lessons I've learned, that's what I want to share in my talk, and give some pointers into, what is really important, what to pay attention to as you're interacting with this work, as you're interacting with the public. And I hope to inspire people, because I know how frustrating it can be. And I know how many people have given up when they've tried for a number of years and they just couldn't make a living with it. They didn't have enough people. It just took too much energy to get it going. So I want to inspire people to stick with it. I want to encourage them. I want to share some of my of my own insights and the wisdom that I've gained in making this a successful practice. And it has very little to do with networking, even though, that is part of it, and the advertising and all of that. But I look at all of it from a more energetic point of view. It's not, how many flyers do you send out, or how many friends do you have? Again, it's part of building energy. And I think if people see it as such, they will shift gears. They will look at it differently, and they will not take it so personally when they don't have success right away. They will look at it like, I like to call it the way of the warrior. You show up, and it all starts with that, and that commitment that we have to the work. Is it just because it's cool and it can potentially make you a really nice living, and maybe you get to travel, whatever else, or is this is this your life's work? And if it is, how much are you willing to give to it? How much are you willing to sacrifice? How many hurdles are you willing to have in your way to prove, yes, I'm showing up for this, and so then they're showing up for you. I mean, I work very, very intimately with my guidance, and I encourage people to do that too, whether it's their ancestors or whoever they feel guided by. So for me, all of that, I look at the spiritual component of it, and I'm working with it very consciously to manifest what it is that I need in my work, and to manifest what others need. So it's a good symbiosis.
Fabulous. Yes. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. Well, I'm definitely going to be sitting in your workshop.
Yeah, thank you. I have to say, because of the fires, I think I missed the boat on getting on that CEU train. So people that want to come to my talk, we're going to have to want to be there, because there's not going to be a continuing ed credits given for it. I was just too sidetracked with the fires here in Washington to get my resume and all of that in on time.
Okay. Well, I'm sure everybody wants more opportunities to build their profession, and if they're passionate, like some of us are, CEUs don't mean that much. But anyway, this has been great. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And so just to recap, her talk is Passion to Profession, Building the Morphic Field of a Successful Constellation Business, on Saturday morning, November 14th, 10:30 to 12. And we'll see you at the conference, Brigitte.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's a wonderful love fest for, friends, old and new.
I'm so excited.
Looking forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, it'll be my first, so I'm really excited. Great. Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. Have a great
day. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.